Jim Iyke.
Yep.
Everything fine.
Everything's guilty.
How the two finest guys in my studio this morning. Do you understand the song?
No, unfortunately.
It's like when he stopped womanizing, he will sing about it. When he stops stealing, he will sing about it. And what else?
Basically, I was talking about weak points in our lives. You know, some people's weak point is stealing, some is drinking, some is womanizing. But there's a lot of things in there, like bribery and all those things. But instead of me saying I will confess or testify, I will sing about it. You know,
Jim, what's your weak point? Your weak point?
The weak point every man has.
Which one is yours now?
My personal weak point.
Yes.
It's being extremely good. That's why.
If you're supposed to be a musician, what kind of genre would you do?
Well, I did rap once. I did a background of rap and.
So you have a couple of demos?
Not demo, full album.
Really?
That was a long time ago. That was some 8 years ago. Two-Face, San Sultan. What's it? Michael Blackson was on the video.
Wow.
We shot it in Harlem, in New York. It was fun.
And what happened? You didn't pursue the music in the career?
Now we want to turn it. We just formed a record label.
Okay.
So I'm bringing some young talents too. Then we're just messing around. I followed them to the studio once with Mary J. Blige. They had an appointment. So I picked them up from the hotel, went to the studio. Mary J. Blige came in, they had the thing. So I caught the bug then. We had a little fun. Then we said, you know what? We're not doing anything. Let's create an album with Jim.
Wow.
So we did it and we put it out.
Do you remember some of your lines?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, let me feel it.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
That's not me. I'm an executive producer. I don't rap, so I don't want to put myself out like that. He's a rapper. He's born to do that.
Jim Iyke was a household name in Ghana, and at a point we're not hearing from you. What happened?
I've also proved there's nothing like words. Nobody has ever used words in my name, and nobody ever will. It's I built it like that. That whenever I come, I have something to say. The point is as explicit as the brand I'm building. I've given about a decade and a half of my life to this establishment.
Okay.
I've earned the right to come and go as I please.
Okay.
There's some other things that will, encompass your life as you go. You'll be a genius at one and extremely good at the others, and not so good at the rest. So you find them as you get older and you get more founded and more grounded in your establishment. So acting is the one thing that's always come so easily to me in my space, that to create it ahead of others, to set precedences has been different. As a businessman, I found out that I'm extremely good at it. It's in my genes. I'm an Igbo man. You understand? I was born with it. I trained for it. I have a financing degree in banking and finance. I have a degree in psychology, and I have an MBA. So I deliberately, intentionally trained to be financially literate. So I always knew that at some point the creative would stop and the businessman would take over. But you can't juggle both. So those 5 years hiatus that people speak about was that we were establishing a lot of investments, and we're putting it in the hands of people that were far less passionate than me. I drive. I'm naturally a gate opener, but I don't know how to man gates because I get bored and have to move to another conquest. So I would usually emotionally bring on people that have paper qualification to take care of these things for me. And at the end of the day, it never really worked.
Okay.
Yeah, it never really worked because it wasn't just what I wanted to do. I wanted to create something, exclusive, something that I had to be hands-on. So many times it was not working to our advantage, and we finally decided that the best course of business was shut down everything, come back and start taking care of these investments personally.
Okay.
And that's what we did. We've grown about 7 or 8 businesses in the course of 6 years. So I felt it's time to come back and be a creative again.
I played that song too serious. I've watched your movies. We met yesterday, and
we've been talking before then.
We've been talking, but we met yesterday, and we were supposed to design something or print out something, and it looks like the guys were wasting time. So when I got there, and he was like, "No, it has to be done. I said, yes, that's the man.
Action man.
Action man. You know, not just talking. Now, you've been in Ghana for the past week or?
Yes, sir.
Past week.
A week and 2 days now.
2 days now. So you are here purposely for the movie.
Yeah, the premiere of Bad Comments.
Yeah.
What a lot of people think is perhaps the best. No, not perhaps. Let me be definite. The best film I've ever created.
Wow. How many movies so far, to your credit?
I've probably done about 300 films.
No, not you as a character, but production.
Production.
Yes.
Personally, as a producer.
You as a producer.
Okay. I've produced 4 films. I've directed 3 films.
Okay.
I've executive produced 2 films.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you have countless movies that you have featured, but there's one that I always remember. Is Nkenwa was your uncle.
That stole my money. But that was a real life story, bro.
Oh, really?
So I had a cousin.
Okay.
He was working in Switzerland then, and every time he would send money. We're all really young then, okay? And my dad did him a great disservice. My dad apologized later.
Okay.
My dad didn't want to be mixed up in all that thing, so my dad sort of sent them all out. You know, at some point, he was the man of resources, so it was, all the family responsibility was on him. So the idea was any young man that could stand, either you get properly educated or you go out and start business.
Right.
So we sent out about 11 young men and women to various countries in the world. So when some of them started doing well, they felt obliged to get back to him to take their money for investment in Nigeria. But my mom was alive, refused and said, listen, don't get mixed up in that. You've done your part, you've sent them out, let them deal with their parents directly now. Because once you get mixed up in that, you know how it works.
Yeah.
You've embezzled money, you've done that, you don't want that. So they turned to this uncle of mine that used to purportedly be the next richest person in our community, and they started sending him money. So all of a sudden, and then what they didn't know was that the guy was bankrupt at that time.
Yeah.
So when these young men and women, not only my cousins, everybody was sending, because they felt this is the person that had resources that will not embezzle their money. He took it and started establishing himself. The dude became like twice as rich, seemingly in less than 2-3 years. When these guys came home and we're like, okay, where is our investment? He said, well, things went bad, I put it there, it didn't go well. Basically, to cut the long story short, he embezzled everybody's money. So, I mean, it was crazy. Some of them went to oracles and threw his name. And we're like, it was crazy that time. We're like, you know what? Let him die. So went to church, dude. So my old man had to intervene. They called a meeting. He paid back what he could pay back. He had really stolen so much money, it was almost impossible. He ended up running away to Cotonou.
There are 2 scenes in that movie. When you came, he was wearing one, is it bubu or jarabia, with this shiny, stuff. You were like, hey, uncle, this one is like disco, disco light. And he had a dream that I think you wanted to kill him. He woke up and the wife came to him, and the wife, oh, are you sure you have not chopped the money? No. Are you implying that I'm a petty thief?
Let me tell you something about Kibu and I. We've done 3 films in the course of our whole career.
Okay.
We don't script our films.
No wonder.
We couldn't, because we're such method actors and such improvisers that the directors and producers usually say, okay, this is Jim and Kibu, let's forget the script. This is the outline action. And we'll go.
I love that movie.
Yeah, he's exceptional. He's an exceptional talent.
There's a question I ask D-Crime about fame, money. How do you handle yours?
By failing. I've failed a lot in my life. And in failure, I found my substance, I found my pattern, I found my algorithm to success. I was a kid. Don't forget, I started this when I was barely 20, barely out of my first degree. And I said, this is what I wanted to do. Everybody. And I was lost the first 3 years because I didn't have the support of my family.
Okay.
I was ostracized. My father probably woke up and said, if you have to do this, you're not taking my last name. Okay, that's what brought about the Jim Iyke. There was no last name.
Oh.
The establishment was clear. If you're going to pursue this course, instead of the masters and the PhD will plan for you. I mean, you were done by 20. Basically, by 22, the masters would have come, and by 26, the PhD. So what are you throwing your life away going to
do movies?
Then everybody thought that was essentially what it was. I don't know where I found the strength nor the will to say that this is what I wanted to do. Perhaps that's why I'm very confident. I'm very cautious as regards what comes to me in this industry, because nobody has fought to be here harder than I have. And I did it without the support of the people I believed in most. So when that happened, I was on my own in the world for a long time. I didn't know where to sleep. I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. Friends that come to my house and stayed and taken money from my family could not accommodate me, could not feed me. People that I looked up to, cousins and uncles that were well established and would not let me into their homes. So it was a hard time, but it also defined the character and how I seem to, the barometer that I measure people in my life. Having said that, the way forward for me was to understand that in the beginning, when he hit me, we didn't have any directives, we didn't have any manager, somebody that was the fame manager that said, it's a responsibility you've been given. You can't do this or that. And we're kids, before we're 22, we're multi-millionaires, so I didn't know what to do with the money. I just understood that it was about buying flashy stuff, hanging out with the flyest women, being in different parties. I don't know how it's.
Is it fun to have women around you?
I grew up with women. I'm used to women. I've been used to women all my life.
You're looking at my face.
I'm learning.
I have 12 sisters.
Oh, okay.
And I'm the only son.
Oh, okay.
So
you're pumped.
It's different generation. I have 6 sisters.
Okay.
But I had 2 cousins, female cousins I lived. There was 2 aunties. My grandmother and my mom. My dad traveled a lot. So I was the husband, the boyfriend, the nemesis, the nice guy, the bad guy, all in one family. And they were different generation of women.
How many daughters?
How many daughters do I have? I don't have a daughter yet, but
unfortunately,
that's been my prayer every day. The day I have a daughter, I'm going to shut down the world. Yeah, because
aren't you scared to have a daughter?
No, why? I'm going to raise my daughter.
Would you get time to raise your daughter, as you're saying? Would you get time to raise your daughter, as you're saying?
Why would you ask if
time? Because you are busy.
No, I've worked all my life so that I can own time. The one thing that I bought with my money is not good things. I bought time.
Okay.
Yeah, because when my son came, I proved the reason I worked all my life. I took 3 years without working to build my son.
Okay.
How many people can do that? And that's because I've worked all my life, so I can afford it.
Okay.
Okay. When my daughter comes, I also do the same thing. It's you can't negotiate those kind of things. The easiest thing, money. That's also the biggest misnomer and mistake people make. That you make money to buy luxurious things. No, the one thing that you can't buy is time. And so the only thing that can afford you time with the people you love and you sacrifice with for most is if you have the resources for it.
And now you have the resources.
Nobody ever has enough resources. Even Dangote doesn't. I've been with Dangote and he's still hustling. Dangote hustles more than you and me.
I know. I don't envy big men.
He wakes up 5 a.m. for meetings and he sleeps around 2 a.m. I'm like, what if this guy is working at this rate? I should be hanging myself. I have no reason.
Seriously, I don't envy big men.
I had a deal I brought to them in Atlanta, and 5 a.m. his PA was calling me. I'm like, what is this whole thing? What's this harassment for? Don't you people sleep? I mean, this is a deal I'm going to make money from, but I was feeling harassed. Like, why is a billionaire's PA calling me
at this time?
At 2 a.m.? I mean, you guys should be sleeping. You're ready, we're picking you up 5 a.m. I got there at the hangar, and these dudes were all awake with coffee, and that's when I schooled myself. Okay? And after that, I got linked to another group. So my cousin and I did a deal with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah? Okay. We did a deal. When we're done, the day we met the partners we did a deal with, right? We were the only ones that were like, yo, we need to hit the party, we need to hit the club. That's what my cousin and I were discussing. When we met these folks, they were like, so these guys were like, what's the next thing? What's the next move? We should come out to Nigeria. We hear you're in real estate. And it dawned on us that this thing we thought that we just made that was money is a small transaction for these men. So one of them then said, hey, so where you headed? I said, Atlanta. He said, okay, you know what, we'll give you a ride. We got to the jet. It was not a normal jet, it was an Airbus that somebody was using for a jet. When we got there, my cousin whipped out his phone. The way I pinched that guy. You're an idiot. Look around you. Everybody's reading a book on their computer, making phone calls for the next day. You're taking selfies. Do you know how they were going to look? We're the only black people on this plane. And you're taking selfies. Just because you just made some small money. This is daily transaction for this. Act like you've been on a jet before. This is not a jet. You and I have been on mini jet. This is an Airbus. I'm taking the pictures. I don't care. I said you can't take the picture. We're fighting for the phone. I seized the phone and held it. Then we waited till the woman was asleep and we took very quiet selfies. I had to prove to somebody.
Yeah, that you're a big man.
And when we came down, we're making calls. We planned our friend to pick us up. This rowdy friend. When we were on that jet, we changed. we didn't want that because it's going to come with a Lamborghini and make noise and look like it. So when we saw the setting, we had to call a proper car service that will pull up with a proper Escalade that will make us look like businessmen. So our friend was calling us, have you guys landed? We told him, no man, it's 1 hour more. We stopped somewhere. We didn't want that guy around. But that defines the strata you're going to. Okay? There's a place where the loudness, the noise, the ostentatiousness will not work. And these people who are watching us to see our lifestyle, like, are these the kind of people we invest in? If we invest in this kind of people, will they go buy expensive cars,
they go chop their money,
Rolexes, and chop their money? Or are they the kind of people that this kind of money doesn't impress them? We invest, we'll see our ROI. We have to prove. We're faking a lot of calls. That's why I was telling you. At every level, you have to fake it. At our level, we didn't have to fake it anymore. We thought we've arrived. But when we got to the group that really arrived, we started faking calls. We're like, hey man, so when are you guys going to be ready? As well, Landy, we'll come to this meeting. Which meeting? We're not going to any meeting. We're just hungry at that point. Just want to get you. You know, so I think that it resonates at every level. You have to figure it out. That my brother, you haven't arrived.
More money, more problem. Is it true?
No.
Do you believe that? More money, more problem?
Well, sometimes it comes with it.
But when you're schooled with it, I used to think more money, more problems, because I came to a point in my life where more money, more problem. When I started making really serious money, every family member found me out. Even the ones that bullied me when I was a kid decided to be best friends with me overnight. And I thought, and you understand, the self-entitlement come, all that stuff come, and at some point you become overwhelmed. But once the focus was my nuclear, raising my sisters right, making sure they were with the right men. Listen, part of the reason why you're in the streets and you're quote unquote a bad boy is also to glean out the bad guys from coming in. You know, so whenever they were in a wrong relationship, I told them, just by looking at the guys, that this won't work, man. This is not the kind of dude you want to be hanging with. No, forget the excitement. He's not going to work with this dude. So I think when I learned to empower my circle, I made sure my sisters got through their masters. I made sure that they were out there working at the right corporations for training. After 2-3 years, I incorporated everybody back into my businesses. 3 of my sisters work for me. 2 of my brothers-in-law work with me. You know, not for me, we all work together. At the end of the day, I understood it for what it was. I became deaf, blind, and mute to the external forces. Then I understood the tool called money. And it is a tool. You can either weaponize it to be used as it's actually meant to be as a capitalist, or you can moralize it to be used for good. So when I learned that, I understood that it's not more money, more problems. It is you that is trying to show yourself out there. That's when the problem will come. As I sit here, you don't know my worth. You will never know. You don't know if I have or whether I don't have.
Whether you're faking it?
Yeah, whether I'm faking it or I'm real. Because my life is in that straight line. Nothing stresses me anymore. Whether I have it or I don't have it. I know that there's nothing life will throw at me that I've not been through. And I also know that there's nothing I'll project as a sign or symbol of wealth that people are not even doing bigger. So, which part do you want?
Trouble. You're live on Pure 95.7 HammerTime.
I found every one of you. You destroyed everything that I stood for. Welcome. Your comments, your vile, hate-filled comments, chipped away at the very foundation of all the things I've built. You mind stepping back at this point?
Any day you see snake on one side of the road coming towards you, then Frank Orji coming on the other end. Please watch to the side of snake, because Frank Orji is a devil.
As the title.
It's a chronicle of the common denominator that binds all of us as an entity, as part of the citizens of this world. I was looking for a film that would define something different, create a different frame of reference. I don't want a film that was a Bollywood film that people say I was trying to copy a Nollywood film, a film that would copy another kind of group of films. When you guys are ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, so we had to create a different frame of reference. So for 3 months, I was looking for a story. About 14 stories came to the office then, different writers. I decided that I wanted something different. I wanted a universally viable film, a film that anybody, irrespective of creed, religion, class, political affiliation, or not whatnot, will enjoy and see that film as what it is, a universal film. So what was the common denominator? I can't discuss politics, I can't discuss cultures, I can't discuss technological advancement. I mean, Hollywood is so advanced in that. There's no film in the tech world that will create that Hollywood hasn't created. There's no film in the cultural world that our African films have not represented. Bollywood, I didn't want to be emotional. You can't make a film where men are crying and dancing like certain kinds of people, man. It just beyond me. So I'm not critical of them. It's a culture, but I'm not going to be found dancing and crying on a film like that. The same effect. So it had to be a unique film. The only unique film I could think of was one that inhabits a space where all of us, coexist. That's the internet and social media space. Whether you're 2 years old or 90 years old, directly or indirectly, you exist in that space. We had to consecrate a story around it. I wanted to tell a story of the social media space, the chronicle of it, and the actors behind it. That celebrity, that anti-hero that you think that's had an easy ride to easy life, that you look up to because of his flashy cars and clothes and houses, you don't know what's going on behind his life. When you find out what's going on behind the scene in his life, you thank God for your life every day.
Exactly.
Okay? And then the trolls, the cyber bullies that go after people to kill their self-esteem, you don't know with one word whose dream you're killing, who you're pushing into depression. It so happens that I researched extensively when this story came to me of the demographic 15 to 19-year-olds that are susceptible to suicide. 77% of them, come from the mid to low income earners and societies. That's us. We're not talking first world, we're talking third world countries. So if it's not being pivoted at the helm of affairs, like all the alternative energy, agriculture, the e-commerce, something is wrong. A lot is being swept under the carpet. The people you're building your future for is between the ages of 15 and 19, and they're all suffering, most of them are suffering mental health problems because of cyberbullying. So I thought it's time that conversation is being had. So apart from the fact that we wanted to create a value for entertainment, there's also an advocacy behind it. We are saying this conversation should be had. People are being bullied, driven to depression, driven to suicide on social media platforms. It's become culturally cool to project cruelty and hatred, and that's what bad comment is about. It's a force, a conversation at the right direction. It's to force people to begin to understand that you can't take these things for granted anymore. You and I have suffered it. He has suffered it. I have. It's a part of us every way. But all of us deal with it differently. And for people that deal with it badly, it's time we start putting them in our focus to save them.
Okay, so the premiering is tomorrow.
9th October, tomorrow, Saturday, at the Micklin Hotel. Micklin
Hotel.
Yeah, Micklin Hotel Conference Hall. We're premiering. First show is 6 to 8 p.m. Second show is 10 p.m. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we have two shows. 6 to 8 p.m. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. And the ticket, single, I made it dirt poor, so nobody complain. Single is 30 CDs, double, that's couple, is 50 CDs, and VIP is 50 CDs for single, and then double is 100 CDs. VIP will give you access to the screening as well as the after party. The ordinary ticket will give you the screening alone. You have to pay to get into the after party. The after party is going to be at the Kumasi Mall. It's called Basement.
Basement, yeah.
Okay, so we want everybody to come at the basement from 10 p.m. and have a great time. Red carpet is 5 p.m.
Okay.
So if you want to hang out with me and have a conversation with me, I'm going to be on my charm offensive with all the other actors. If you come out 5 p.m. for the red carpet, we'll have conversation. We can take 100 selfies per person. I don't care. I'm just going to be there to have a good time. So join me early between 5 to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. sharp, Japanese people's time. Not African. Japanese people's time.
Yes.
I'm begging you people. Okay. 6, we're getting to the hall to start screening the film, and by that time it will be hard to take pictures.
Okay. I wanted to ask something, but our time is, we have a few minutes. Talking about this cyber thing, someone accused you of, you know, we saw a video of you, you know, attacking the guy. Was it staged?
Staged?
As in, can I make a slap you small for social media thing?
That's a brilliant question. You want an answer?
Why not?
I should just keep quiet.
No, we can't keep quiet.
Okay. Look at me. Everything I do in this life, does it look deliberate? I have a question for you now. I'm being Nigerian.
Yes.
You will ask questions for me.
Yes, now.
So
that's why I played too serious for you.
Everything you've met me. Everything I do in this life. Do you think I'm the kind of man that will walk into something that will somehow downgrade my plan for some, or my vision for something? I think everything I do is very deliberate, it's very, very intentional. Do you think I'm that kind of person?
Yes.
I'm very intentional about everything, including how we meet.
99%.
99%. I'm very intentional.
Yeah.
And so find your answer there. I see your guy behind, like his brain is going haywire right now. Like, Charlie, what is this, man? Can this idiot just come out and say yes or no? I mean, that's the whole point. The point is, if you think I'm a very intentional, very deliberate person that I plan and strategize every move I make, in there somewhere is your answer.
How much did you give the guy? How much did you give the guy?
Oh, you think it was
I asked a question. How much did you give the guy?
How much did he give the guy?
Yes.
So you've concluded that it was how can you conclude? What made you conclude?
The actions, you know, most of your movies.
But it took some brushing, my brother. Did you see the kick? That was some kung fu, dude. My black belt came in good use that day. You know, so I mean, nobody can tell.
Yeah, anyway.
Whether it was deliberate or whether it was orchestrated or whether I actually went there to hit him. But I'm not a violent person. Man
must survive.
I'm a strategist.
Yes, man must survive.
I'm a strategist.
Hey, yo. Jim. Any 1 or 2 words for?
Come out to make clean.
Yep.
Okay, that's where the action is tomorrow. I mean, there's nowhere else to go. You know, they've been a shutdown for a long time. I hear people here have not been to the cinemas for a long time. That was a challenge. But I beat those odds to create it something. So come out. What I'm saying is the best film I've ever created. Every pundit, every critic in Nigeria said it's the best film ever made from our stable. And that's a strong word to be said about content. But I am also saying that if you walk in there, you don't like the film, I'll pay you back your money.
Sharp.
Straight. We are coming with some cash, so anybody that I will just give back. And I'll bring back my cash, I promise.
Rich man.
No, it's not about that. It's about confidence.
Word.
You can't be confident if your pocket is Sakura.